This week on Gravel, we have Neil staring at his phone. We have Bobby Wintle giving us virtual hugs. We have a little bit of riding in the wind. And we end with a touch of bromance. Hey y'all, welcome to This is Gravel. I'm Bobby Thompson. Sitting next to me today is Neil Taylor. Neil, it's been a little windy outside. Have you gotten out in it?
Yeah, I got out in the wind yesterday, and yes, it is windy. But this is
what does windy mean to you? Where we ride here in Import, Kansas?
You know, when it's over 20 mile an hour, that's windy to me.
Over 20 miles an hour?
It's got to be over 20.
And you ride single speed. Do you switch up a little bit?
No.
In the wind? You just go for it?
Yeah, keep the gear in the same. Just kind of get down in those drops and get the head down and get going.
Do you wish you could change gears when you were ever out there?
When I was out there yesterday?
Yeah.
And I was coming back to town, those 10 miles or so into the wind. For 10 miles straight, yes, I would have loved to have been able to just do one little tap, just one at least.
Okay, I'll tell you, in case you're wondering, it doesn't matter. It still sucks to ride in the wind no matter how many gears you got.
I do remember from my gear times. It sucks regardless.
Right. So, you get out there and you shift down and you're thinking, well, this is going to be an easier gear, and then it gets hard.
Yeah.
And you shift down and you think, this will be an easier gear, and then you run out of gears. So,
like pushing in the single speed, it is fun. Right. I mean, it makes you have to push through it, grind through it, and I'm sure it'll be both good physically for me and mentally as well. So
keep saying that. Keep saying that. Keep smiling your face.
It will be good for me.
Yeah, it has been windy here. What was it over the weekend? We had 30-plus mile-per-hour gusts.
Yeah.
Sustained winds were 25-plus, I think, closer to 30, right?
Yeah.
So, but everybody was out riding. So, okay, well, speaking of riding in the wind.
Yes.
And speaking of things not being the most fun on a bike. No, that's not true. You know what? The land run's coming up, and I got to say, no matter how bad the weather gets down there, it's a lot of fun, no matter what.
For the most part, until hypothermia or something sets in. Otherwise, it's a blast. Yeah,
one time maybe had some hypothermia set in. So, yeah, land run's coming up 2 weeks away, week and a half away. Yeah. Bobby Wintle, bless his little Oklahoma heart, took some time to have a chat with us this week and talk a little bit about land run.
Hey, Bobby, thanks for joining us from Stillwater today.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
So, we're about 2 weeks out, a little less than 2 weeks out from the Land Run 100. What do you guys have planned for this year?
This year we are doing the same course pretty much as last year, going to Guthrie, Oklahoma. And so all the same things that we've been doing the last couple of years. We're doing a beer with Iron Monk again. So we'll be canning that this week or maybe early next week. We've added the double as an official category. So we'll have people in the 50K route on Friday morning, 8 a.m. And then on Saturday, they line up to do the 100-mile race. But yeah, man, we've got more people than ever. 1,450 or so are technically registered right now from more states than ever, 40 states, Canada. I've got people from Canada, 4 and then a couple from Denmark, too. So we've got people from farther away than we've ever had. And it's going to be electric, man. Like, you've been here, you know how it is. Like, the start line is outrageous. It is the funnest thing that we do all year, that's for sure.
Very cool. Yes, this will be our third time, I think, coming up for Gravel Guru this year, and it's always just an amazing atmosphere. Let's step back a little bit. How did you decide to start Land Run, and where did this come from?
Definitely. So a lot of people know, at least in the Emporia area, that Crystal and I both went to college there. Crystal was there first. She moved up there in like 04. And then I moved up in 06, but we started being a part of things, Dirty Kansas, in 2008, and we were doing, volunteer work, and then I got a job at High Gear. I got a job at the bike shop in 09, or late 09, like 2010, and so we just fully immersed ourselves in pretty much the entire culture that was happening in and around with me about that time. And I was seeing tons come from the southern area of the country, or Texas or Dallas, Missouri, Kansas, of course, that were doing DK. And they had nothing to train through the winter to keep them fit, to do 200 miles in June. So I thought, if we move down to Stillwater, we open the bike shop, we check out the dirt roads and see if they're cool, then we'll build a route and then invite a handful of friends, and we can do something. And so, of course, in typical kind of my fashion, started to figure out how insane the roads are here in Stillwater after we moved to town in 2011. And then by 2013, we had the name and the branding, and what I thought was an unbelievable course with over 5,000 feet of climbing south to Kearney, Oklahoma was the first 2 years of Land Run. And so, Jim Cummins and Leland and Tim and Christy, everybody at DK, helped us out quite a bit and helped spread the word. Mark Stevenson at Trans Iowa did the same thing, just said, hey, 100-mile century, you should put it on there. So we had a lot of help from inside the gravel community and from the promoter world. And that was incredible. Helped us a sense of credibility that we couldn't have built ourselves. But really, man, these roads and the fact that we've been able to partner with the city and shut down the street and throw a party. And so we've been doing that since year one. And what we've come to find out is that we're focusing way more on the festivities and the party and the riders meeting and relationships being cultivated than we are on the technicalities of the race. And I think that's where we've been able to grow and feel super relational. And I want to continue doing that. That I understand that the race is very important to a lot of people and the competition is important, but truly, like, we're all here to do something maybe we thought we couldn't do, or do something that we're uncertain of how the conditions are going to work out. And so anyway, that's kind of why I wanted to do Land Run in the beginning, was to push people to be ready for something even bigger and crazier like DK later in the season. That was really the true first thoughts and the first reasoning why we did it.
Very cool. You talk about building relationships and building community. How have you seen maybe the gravel community grow down there in Stillwater since the race and your guys' shop is open down there?
Absolutely. We couldn't do it all. So there were a handful of guys here in town that started the Stillwater Gravel Grinders, and they really took under their wing the Monday night ride, the Monday Fun Day ride, the Wednesday Worlds ride, group rides on Saturday, building on roads that, you point in any direction from town and it's Mecca. It's red dirt, it's nasty, it's washed out. We call them C roads, really. They're not B roads, they're outrageous. And so, because we've all realized that we're in such a hotbed of just beautiful, desolate country roads, then because of that reason, the community has been able to grow super naturally because we're all very inclusive. Almost none of us are fast. There's, I would say 92% of us are all just there to be together and to do the ride, and we're not worried about how fast we're going or even maybe carrying a computer. And so, that mentality of like, hey, let's meet at the shop, let's do this ride, let's go to the bar later. Finnegan's downtown has been a huge part of helping us build community because they let us park our bikes inside, and they don't care if there's 30 of us and the bikes are just piled up. And if you're here for Land Run and you stop by Finnegan's on either Thursday or Friday night, you're going to see a ton of cyclists and you're going to probably see some bikes in there. So like we've created a space for people to congregate and to sit and to meet each other in the shop with a couch in the bar and the hangout area by the workspace. And we really don't want people to feel like they have to come in and buy something. And so with us giving them a space to call their own, and with Finnegan's giving us a space to truly feel our own and not feel like we're in the way or we're doing something wrong, that's allowed us to grow exponentially faster and closer and stronger than I think we could have ever planned on our own. And so yeah, that's it, man. Community, it takes multiple facets. It's not just coming from one place. It's coming from people being stoked about it, the shop, I think, and then also places like Finnegan's being stoked on it too.
Yeah, and I think any race promoter would agree with you on that concept there. So you mentioned earlier about the ultra marathon and the double. Kind of give us an overview about what those events are for the cyclists that might not know that even goes on this weekend.
Yeah. Long story short, we've seen along with the gravel riding community, like some dirt running. The dirt running community has really grown too. So people that have done lots of paved marathons and stuff like that in the past are like, forget this, I'm going to go run on the dirt. It's way easier on my feet and my knees. And so they all started asking for something to be intertwined with Land Run. And then Arthur Elias ran the entire 100-mile course a few years back. He's done it. He's attempted it twice and finished once. And so he was just like, I want to race people. I want to do this. I really want to see how this could look and what it would look like. And so we decided to add a 50K. And then, of course, after we added the 50K a few years back, people said, well, I want to do both. How do I do both? So then we added the double last year. And so it's just born out of this idea of unlearning, of like, let's take things away, let's make it simpler, but at the same time, let's keep pushing ourselves and see what happens and just see how many people are crazy enough to do this. So the double this year sold out immediately. The second we opened registration, I limited it to 25 people. And it was immediately sold out. And then upwards of now we've got 41 people who are coming this year to try and do the 50K on Friday and then the 100-mile course on Saturday. If you give people a chance to try and be insane, they will do it.
That's so cool. That's crazy to consider doing that on Friday, then followed up with Saturday. But
yeah.
So epic to watch those people come in on Friday and then again on Saturday. We can't really talk about Land Run. If we've ever Googled Land Run, you've never been down before, you're probably going to see some photos of some peanut butter-like mud. What are these roads, and what can the weather in Stillwater be like this time of year?
So, 4 out of 5 years of Land Run. So this is our 6th year. 4 out of 5 years, it's been exactly that, man. It's been insane. It has been muddy. It's been wet, either raining the day before at 11 o'clock at night and midnight the day of, or raining a few hours into the event. So our roads just don't take to precipitation immediately well, but they dry really quickly. So that's the problem, is that the top part of the soil will get completely destroyed really quickly, and then if it stops, it will start to peanut butter and coagulate and stick to your bike and stick to everything. And so if you try and ride even 3 pedal strokes, your bike weighs now 40, 50 pounds. So, what we're telling people now is like, fit the smallest mud shedding tire you can on your bike that you feel comfortable riding, like a 33C tire on something like a Warbird, or a 38 mud tire on something like a Cutthroat, and just try your best to ride things if you can with that small of a tire. But if you don't do that, you have to immediately stop, get off your bike, walk, carry it. And so, we've had years, man, where people have claimed 7 to 10 miles of hiker bike. And if you see these pictures behind me, they tell the story, really. It's insane. They turn crazy. And the county commissioner's office, we stopped by and listened to them actually vote on fundage to go out to put new gravel on some of the roads outside of town. And I was like, please just leave them red. Please.
Yeah. So.
But no, they're impassable for cars even. We've seen Jeeps from our Jeep Club get stuck. We've seen farmers' trucks get stuck the morning of the race. But the craziest thing is last year we had 0 precipitation for 2 months up until race day. And then it was 36 degrees, 37 degrees and raining most of the day. And it had been almost 80 degrees the day before for the double for those 50K riders. And then 2 weeks after Land Run last year, perfectly dry. So there's no telling, man.
Yeah, we all know you can't control the weather. And I remember being down there last year on Friday, gorgeous, and that weather just moves in. But you never know. There's also been a fast year or two with Land Run where it was perfectly dry, correct?
Yeah, but from Tuesday or Wednesday, that year, that was year 2, is 2014, it was 100% chance of rain for the entire day of the race. So. But somehow that storm front, we kept watching it, and it came and came and came towards Stillwater, and then it just dissipated and split, and Oklahoma City and Tulsa got smashed with rain, and we had nothing.
So we never know what we're going to get down in Stillwater. Now, say you didn't get registered for the land run, or you want to come have a good time. What's going to be going on at the finish line and maybe the day of registration downtown?
So we've got tons of stuff for people to do if you're a support crew or family, or you just want to come watch and see what's going on. So Friday night we'll have a writers meeting that we do on the street. It's open to the public. Iron Monk will have their beer garden going on. There's tons of places downtown to eat that are doing special things for people coming to town. Iron Monk, the brewery, is super close by. So Friday night we'll have an expo. The whole street will be shut down in front of the shop, and we'll have all of our sponsors from Salsa, Vittoria, Kuat, Sodero Frame Bags, you name it. If they're cool, they're here, and they're going to be hanging out, so you can check out new product and just see what everyone's doing. On Friday, you can also watch the double finishers if you're there early enough in the morning, come through the finish line corridor. And then on Saturday, we've got the cannon again from OSU, so we'll be shooting the ROTC cannon to start the race. And that's just a spectacle to watch, to see everybody leave. And then if you want to, if you're a sport crew, or even if you're just there to spectate, Guthrie is going to have 4 live acoustic bands and a beer truck and food trucks in their downtown area where we've got everything shut down. If you go to landrun100.com, we'll have maps of exactly where all the halfway point stuff is in Guthrie. We also have a volunteer list that we still need help with. So volunteers, please just go to landrun100.com/volunteer. And if there's something that looks good and you've got time, we'd love to have you. We'll have a t-shirt for you. It says volunteer on the back. So please do that. But then the finish line festivities with food trucks, beer garden again in Stillwater all day and night right in front of District Bicycles downtown. Come check it out. We've got stuff happening all the time and all over. We can't wait to have people here.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to getting down to Stillwater and checking it out. We'll share all the links for the volunteers and the maps and stuff in the show notes here with it. But one last note to wrap up on. You talk about the epicness of going out there and trying to complete something that you might not think you're able to. What is it like for you standing at the finish line? You know, you see these giant bear hugs you give. When you see these people complete something that maybe when they started on Saturday morning, they didn't think they had it in them.
It's unbelievable. It's really hard to put into words. There's a few photos of me about 3/4 of the way through the day each year, and like I'm either sitting on the ground or laying down, or my hair is like probably sticking straight up or whatever. And I think those photos maybe tell the best story. It's like I'm completely overwhelmed with every emotion possible. Like I want people to dig, and I know that they are, and I know that they have, and I want them to feel like what they did is being celebrated, and what they did is worth so much to me and to them and to all the people watching or their friends at home. And so, man, it's people ask me all the time if I'm ever going to ride it or race it, or if I have ever ridden it. I'm like, no. I'm always at the finish line, and that's where I'm supposed to be. And that's why I stay there, and I haven't ever ridden or, missed people coming through the finish line corridor, because to me that's welcoming them back in after what they've gone through or what they've pushed themselves to do is more important than anything else during the day. And so naturally the first year I was pretty much alone at the finish line, and just out of the joy of the day started hugging everybody. And it wasn't like a plan or a thing, and it wasn't like a marketing scheme, or it wasn't a part of the plan at all. And so now it's become a thing, and I love it. I mean, what's better than getting a hug after you've just smashed your body? Even if you're not a hugger, I have people tell me all the time, like, I'm not a hugger, but I'm going to take this hug, and I'm going to be stoked about it. And for me, it's incredible, dude. It's incredible. It's knowing that we've all collectively worked together, our committee and our crew in the shop, to put together something that's so memorable, and then to be able to help people end it with celebration and a big hug is, to me, it's priceless, dude. It's so good, and I love it. I love it. It's crazy though, like tears and joy and frustration and all of it, dude. It's all there.
Yeah, I definitely recommend anybody that's in the Midwest on March 17th, head down to Stillwater, take it in. Thank you to you, Crystal, the district crew, and everybody down in Stillwater that puts this great event on. Thanks for coming on the show today, Bobby.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks so much for having me, man. I can't wait to see you guys. Please come down. Let's hang out.
I love me some Bobby Wintle.
Sorry, what did you say? I'm busy checking the weather down to Stillwater for the 17th.
Grief.
Got to know what it's going to be, guys.
Okay, so what's it say for the next weekend? 2 weekends from now.
Rain, of course. What else is it going to be?
Of course it says rain. That means we'll actually have it dry this year. I guarantee dry weather this year at the Land Run 100.
Thanks,
right
Bobby.
here on this show, guaranteed.
Land Run, looking forward to it,
How
man.
many Wintle hugs do you have?
I have one Wintle hug.
Okay, out of how many tries?
Out of 2 tries. Last year.
2 tries, 1 Wintle hug.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
50%.
Okay.
Went the last 2 years. I'm looking to go 2 out of 3 here. This year is redemption for last year.
Trying to get over the hump.
Yeah. I mean, got there that first year I went down. Last year, hypothermia. You know.
Now, is it really hypothermia, or were you just cold? For hypothermia, do you have to have wind chill? I mean, does you have to feel like temperature below 32?
I'll tell you, I couldn't speak very well.
I agree. I couldn't
when the Jeeps pulled up,
couldn't move.
I wasn't able to communicate with them well.
I agree.
The legs were not moving.
It wasn't the best thing.
So
in the world
it was not healthy.
Right, I agree with that. Okay.
Having said that, there was no question about going down again this year and putting myself through whatever Oklahoma is going to throw for us. St. Patty's Day, so we'll have a good time, no doubt. But,
right. You know, it's funny about the Land Run. Land Run is one of those rides every year that no matter what the weather is, I'm going to gear it up and toe the line and see what happens that day. So there's not too many. I can't say that about every ride.
Yeah, and I joke about checking the weather. I want to know if I need to bring a wool layer, if I need to just go in shorts. But otherwise, yes, we're gonna toe up the line regardless that day. It doesn't matter if it is raining when it starts. We are gonna roll out in the rain. If the roads have mud, we're going to pick up our bikes for a little bit.
But it's going to be dry.
It's going to be dry.
I just guarantee it.
No.
So we don't even need this discussion right now.
Yeah.
So the Land Run is going to be fast, hard pack, rolling dirt this year. You're going to set speed records.
60, 70 degrees at least.
Absolutely.
Super warm.
Feel free to come down, hang out. Please come and hang out with the Gravel family. Even if you're not in it this year, I'll tell you, these events are getting more and more fun just to hang out in the evenings.
That's one of the things I love about Land Run. It is a fun hangout. You get there Friday. I know you think you're going down Thursday. You get down there early, hang out. District is a great place to hang out. Bobby puts on a great party down there.
Great places to eat, great beer to be had, great breakfast Sunday morning. Reese's peanut butter pancakes, you can't beat that. So I think it's going to be a great year. Matt, I saw that we're blowing up on social media, pictures everywhere. I even contributed a picture this week. Did I make social media? I did? I made the social media segment this year. Yes, I'm pretty proud. So let's see where you were.
You're right, Bobby and Neil. Our social media has been overflowing this week, and that's a great thing. If you want to submit your photos, make sure you're following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and using the hashtag #ThisIsGravel. Adam sent this photo from out riding with some buddies in Elbert, Colorado. Our own Bobby Thompson sent in. He rode to Casey's. Always has good grub to go. It was real special, he says. Thanks, Bobby. Cole raced 100K of gorgeous and windy Iowa gravel this weekend. Said he loved every minute of it. 64 miles, 4,700 feet of climbing in 4 hours and 25 minutes. Huge shout out goes to Corey. Corey raced the Biking Man Omen this past week. 696 miles, 42,000 feet of climbing in less than 72 hours. Huge shout out goes to Corey for those accomplishments. Crystal was out rocking the gravel roads on the fat bike in Iowa. She said there was snow, mud, and ice. Gary went to the Grand Gravel 500 event from Bryan, Texas to Palestine, Texas and back. Great route using forest roads. Looks like a lot of fun. Jason was out exploring the Michigan gravel. Jeff was checking out the roads near Sedona, Arizona. Joe was out doing a little back road exploring near Summerfield, Kansas. John was checking out the trails around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Katie was out riding near Little Rock, Arkansas on the Arkansas River Trail. Matt Falwell sent in this video from the Land Between the Lakes National Recreation Area. Megan sent in this photo of a reunion ride with old teammates near the Kansas City area. Mike Smith took part in the Dirty Pecan ride in Monticello, Florida. Scott Bluebaugh was out exploring the back roads of Greenwood County, Kansas. Trevor was out exploring the Cedar Valley Nature Trail in LaPorte City, Iowa. As always, make sure you submit your photos using hashtag #ThisIsGravel on all of our social media, and we'll try to get them featured in our next episode.
Let me just say that behind the scenes, the kind of effort it takes to segue from one thing to the next,
it's a challenge.
Spot on, right?
No.
So we're going to say that following the social media segment, if you feel like being social, you can come out to my Bromance Series event, the Smitty Fitty 50K, this weekend, Redding, Kansas. Mainly a group ride with some Strava segments thrown in to have a little fun. We're going to raise a little bit of money for the Emporia, Kansas Animal Shelter. Bring a $5 bill, $10 bill, and just come out and have some fun.
March 11th. Be there, folks. It's going to be a good time. 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, March
Redding,
11th,
Kansas.
out in Redding, Kansas. Again, guys, thank you for the social media posts. We love those things. Make sure you're tagging everything with This is Gravel. I know we all go out and look at those pictures. It's good stuff, seeing what people are riding. I think I even saw a picture this past week from South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. So awesome stuff out there. Keep sending them in. Make sure that you're following us Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all those awesome things. And we look forward to hearing from you guys. This is Gravel. Neil.
Bobby, see you later.